again here with the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel where we share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. Oh, that includes stories, real raw stories from across the globe, real life topics, real life news reports. We just like to come here and give our reaction commentary to true stories, okay? And it's also going to be expanding in the year of 2026, okay? Because I can't say exactly what I have planned for the channel, but we will be merging out into uh, different channels covering a variety of different things. Like, people don't know, I'm really more into the weather and stuff like this than I show, so I'll probably be following more weather reports on a separate channel, not like a storm chaser, but something like that. And other things that you don't want to miss. So make sure you hit that subscribe bell so you are able to follow us, even if we eventually shut down the You Will Make It TV channel. Like me, I don't have a problem showing. I don't know why people feel like you're supposed to be humiliated from starting over. Like, if anything, that's proof. Especially when you have it's being publicly seen. Like, you keep starting new channels. Like, before YouTube, though, I just would use social media like most young people did. I had an Instagram, Facebook, which I'm glad during the times I had it, back then you probably didn't understand, but people would call themselves screenshotting a post or screenshotting a picture you might have. I'm thankful for the people that was doing that, because you never knew when your uh social media might have got banned, or anybody can go through it. It don't take but one wrong comment, one wrong post, one flagged anything, you know what I'm saying, for you to be banned. Just ask Mr. Donald Trump. He's been through it. Even with Twitter, they didn't like things he was saying. Sometimes they banned the whole president from Twitter before. Now, he probably re-granted his access, which is very rare, because some of these people, once they ban you, Boosie went through it with IG, I think. Lil Boosie, they would constantly flag his content. I'm just trying to put y'all in the mindset that I'm in. Like, think about all these people that, starting with celebrities, that were literally banned off of platforms. Like, what were they posting? What were they saying? It got to be bad for them to ban you, right? Well, that's the thing. And that's what inspired this topic today. Hearing another content creator talk about it a little bit, like, hey guys, he was like, is it me or has anybody else noticed that uh, it seemed like people are down with humiliating one another, especially they own, just for clout, just for views, just for money, pretty much. Like, I guess that's what a sacrifice is, though, right? But it just looks stupid to me when it's your own. I can see if you preaching or teaching people out of love, and you can tell, not just from the voice or the tone, but based off of the words that's coming out of somebody's mouth. To me, you can tell if it's out of love or spite or malice. I don't know what people think, but the veil is being lifted. All you got to do is pay attention. God, the one, he's not the author of confusion. He said you should know them by their fruits, but they just want to focus on whether you said a cuss word or not, whether you said it loud or not, if you said it to somebody's face. No, you know exactly how you carry yourself. You're not hiding anything. But what we are more noticing, people have a real problem when I don't know how to explain it, but they have a real problem when they actually plan or revolve a situation for you to give a certain reaction. I'm trying to show them in a quiet way, like I see y'all when y'all do that. That's why you never get the reaction. But I'm still human. I'm going to react to what I need to react to. That's not being controlled by a humiliation ritual. You already got to deal with that reality. Like, you're just living every day. The second reality is you're living and somebody's performing a humiliation ritual on you, and you got to learn how to carry yourself through that too. It's real crazy though. But what we were saying is, it seemed like some of these stories, how frequent they are. Though you're deploying National Guard, you done sent Army soldiers out here. You got ICE on the ground. All these different authorities. Yet still, there's so many tragic stories on the news still happening. And people still getting great content checks. Let's be honest, they're getting content checks just having something to talk about on their channel, bro. It's like, oh, sorry to the families this is happening to, trying to hide that they getting large content checks, sitting on their platforms talking about this stuff. See, now that looks a little suspicious. Like, how we know y'all same platformers is not the ones behind the scenes helping to stage these same situations in people's lives so you can have content to cover and have something to talk about. We're not talking about the reactions and commentary to TikTok stories. That's not the same. Because if a person posts their own business on the internet and you choose to go speak about it, that's different. If you post your business on there, you give people the right to talk about it. Then they'll come for you and say, well, you're trying to hide something because you didn't post your business. I hope they never was talking about me, because Tetta Sherry has never been known to go post every time she have a breakup or every time that's why humiliation ritualists wouldn't like me. You're gonna have to study harder, double check. Did it work? Yeah, I mean, you attempted it, but it's like, because I don't run to the internet and post what happened to me, you think I'm trying to hide? Bro, no, there is no way to hide a humiliation ritual. First of all, other people do be saying people go through that. Cause ain't no way you had 365 days of the calendar year humiliation every day. Ain't no way. Make that make sense. You mean to tell me all 365 days you might have got a break 14 of the days out of the 365, and you expect that, oh, well, because they didn't post it, they weren't being humiliated? Just ask the people that was up close and front and center, living with them, living around them, seeing them every day. They might have thought they was being humiliated. Like, that person sure is quiet. That person won't even look up at people no more. That person won't even, like, come on, bro. There's whole signs. That's why we finna talk about it. Cause pretty much that's the topic of the week. When God tell me to go research something, really, he told me this a long time ago. Like, you need to go research humiliation rituals. And I'd be like, all right, God, I'm gonna get to it. But I got so busy researching everything else. And look how much, look at the knowledge I would have came across a long time ago. So that's another thing. It's like, you can only get past, you mean to tell me you young people just come out into the world 13, 14, 15, 16 years old knowing what a humiliation ritual is? No, they don't, unless you teach them about it. And yes, they start their stuff at an early age over people's lives. Them kids that were bullied and stuff at school all the time, I always did think that was weird. Because it's like, why them? Why that person? As a matter of fact, they need a new psychological terminology. They need to add this one to the book called, what was the name of it I thought of? Habitual bully syndrome. The reason why they won't put that in the technology books, in the psychological books, is because now you would actually have to put medication on people on medication and deal with them and see what their problem is. They need one called habitual bully syndrome. Because why? I mean, most people ain't even bullies, y'all. They just be performing humiliation rituals on people to get what they want. They not a bully at heart. I'm just trying to speak. God told me to speak my heart, not my mind. So I'm speaking what's there. And this is just the beginning. They threw me on the platform talking about, let's humiliate her ritualistically. Let's publicly make her look like this. Well, you already gave me the stage, but I don't have to surrender to what you want me to look like on the stage. You put me up there to dance like a monkey the whole time. I can really sing like a bird. And it's like, why dance like a monkey I already got the opportunity. I'm on the stage. I'd rather sing and show other things I can do. You only want me to look like I can be humiliated. That's weird. Oh, she don't do nothing. She's just our humiliation ritual. She's just the one we do humiliations on. Oh, you need some money? Go humiliate that person. Oh, you need somebody to lie on? Go humiliate that person. Oh, you need a babysitter? Just go humiliate that person. They'll do what you want them to do. Oh no, them days is dead. You know what I'm saying? They can do the rituals as long as they want to. I want people to know with these topics, I'm not exempt. People can try this stupid stuff on anybody. Anybody can get selected. That's the thing. So on the last stream, yes, we called out a few celebrity names. Like I said, I feel like they was definitely doing it to Whitney Houston. Like how is she living just this normal, calm life of success and singing her heart out until you get with it always go this way. Now you with somebody and suddenly every time we turn around you in the headlines, overdose, fight because of some drugs. Like this is so stupid. These are clearly humiliation rituals, and they did it to Whitney Houston, and she had a sweet soul. She had a very sweet soul. Like this is stupid, bro. There has to be a better way. If I had to had a college essay due right now, and they said write 10 things in the world you think should change, that would be one of the 10 on the list. The fact that people think they have to humiliate another person to receive something, to get something, to go their way is so stupid, bro. And people say they care, but so many people are still suffering from these type of acts. So now what did we do? Now what did we do? Because people didn't think that far. What happens when the person that the rituals are happening on, humiliation attacks, what happens when they notice it? Like, clearly, like I said, you're not going to go a whole 365 days. Humiliation, 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 humiliation. And you're not even doing it to yourself. So what's going on? Okay, so like I said, what's the next step in the procedure? A person notices, yeah, everything I'm reading on this list about humiliation rituals, yeah, I feel like I'm going through it. What? Then what do? It's the part for me that people take you through that and then swear that anywhere you got tripped up through the humiliation ritual, you should pay for it. For example, I tie your shoelaces together while you sleep. So when you come out, when you step up to get out of the bed, you trip and fall. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor asks what happened, and you supposed to tell them you just tripped and fell. You're supposed to leave out the detail that somebody tied your shoelaces while you was asleep. Like, come on, bro. That I'm giving y'all an example. This how humiliation ritualists they have like the weirdest, unrealistic expectations. But that's okay. They can continue to be who they want to be, but you cannot stop people from standing up saying no, no more. Like, I mean, you can do your humiliation rituals, but don't get mad if I don't get humiliated. And I choose to tell the doctor, no, I fell out the bed and tripped and hit my face because somebody tied my shoelaces while I was asleep. Because you're really lying if you just tell the doctor you failed. Tell the doctor the truth. Hell, maybe I'm a victim of a humiliation rituals. Then what you gonna do? Your job is just to bandage me up, regardless of what happened. But if you're gonna ask me what happened, be prepared. So, anyways, guys, I'm reading this straight from Google. The first word of the day is humility, because the root word of humiliation is humility. Okay? And we're going to talk about how people take something as simple as humility and turn it into something else. And how it's easier to probably get by with doing humiliation rituals on a person who already practices humility. Like they already okay with not having the most in life, not having the best in life. Not they're just a person full of humility. Clearly, a person like that is easier to try to what's that called? What is that word called? Where you passive aggressively pass off humiliation rituals on a person that's already practices humility. Humility, the definition is the quality of having a modest view of one's value or importance. Uh-oh. It's them two last words of the sentence of the definition for me. Value and importance. Because we know that a humiliation ritual, the goal is to steal from your value, your self-worth value, or your self-importance, how you look at yourself. That's stupid. You can never control how a person carries themselves. That's stupid. I wouldn't care if they got embarrassed like hell just yesterday. The next day is a new day. It's a new start. It's a new chance for them to forget about what happened, right? And start over. Even the Bible say God's mercies is new every morning. And you want a person to hold on to the last time you humiliated them, hoping that they can't get past, find their confidence again. There you go, boo. Yes, boo boo. Yes, poo poo. Here, I'll bring it to you. Oh, you want this one? Okay. You're cold. There you go. But yeah, so that was the first definition. Remembering that the root word of humiliation is humility. Remembering what humility means, because I'm trying to, this is you will make it TV. How you gonna tell people they're gonna make it? What are the type of things that they're suffering from? They're suffering from addiction. They're suffering from abuses. They're suffering from the post-traumatic stress of acts like humiliation rituals, right? And we're here to inspire people, let them know you'll make it. But how do you make it? You just fear what you have no knowledge of. And you stay in that cycle of fear if you never choose to chase knowledge about it. So, like I said, God told me a while ago, go on ahead and go do a little more research on humiliation rituals. You'll find out a lot. And I did. Stuff like that. You being in the middle, because we all know, like, if you at a job every day, most people do not have their kids at work for them. It's a little hard to try to use their kids to humiliate them while they at work. So a person that they might be plotting a humiliation ritual on, because I have literally seen women and men lose their jobs over, like, y'all wouldn't believe it. Schools calling them, trying to make them, force them to believe that they child having that many problems at school, where you got to literally leave your shift and leave work, leave your opportunities to go up there. Because we all know, I mean, that's your job as a parent. Go to the school and check on them. But it's still something wrong with that to me if they calling you like 2 or 3 days for sure out the week, every week while you trying to work. To me, another humiliation ritual. So yeah, what would that mean? People like schools be in on it, doctors, nurses, uh, anybody they can use, where their word written on a piece of paper is supposed to be more legitly, professionally accurate than you trying to tell your story. No, this ain't nothing but a humiliation ritual. Of course, if you leave a parent alone at work, they get to finish the whole 8 hours. The kid is at school all day, and then boom, you had a great day. This is how the average person's day goes, right? Okay, now compare the average person day, how it usually goes, they work, they kids at school. I was talking about that earlier. If you're going to judge a person's circumstance, judge their circumstance from where they stand. Don't sit there and compare them to the next person. Okay, because if you plan a competition, ain't nothing wrong with that. People have all kind of competitions every day. But clearly you're cheating. It ain't even a real competition if the two people you claim competing, one of them having a humiliation ritual done on them every week. How is that a real competition? Like what? You trying to make them look like a ghost? Like, oh no, 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 that person's going through another tragedy. Black people, we got to do better. Every time somebody asks about your brother or sister, they going through something humiliating. It ain't humiliating enough for you to not talk about, though. I mean, humiliation is you don't even want to talk about it. You feel me? But no, as long as it's the type of rumor they'll still speak on, they not humiliated to tell you how they kinfolk doing, how they wife, ex is somebody doing. You should be like, they doing great. Well, that was the original vision for my life. Like, no matter how far I go, I should never have to look back and somebody ask me about Jack or Sally, and it's always bad news. But maybe some people just thrive, you know what I'm saying, through that. They just thrive through discord, through chaos, through me. I have no choice because, like I said, if somebody's doing humiliation rituals and have dedicated their life to doing it on you, yeah, you pretty much learn how to thrive through chaos. That don't mean you was okay with the chaos. You're waiting on the ritualist to get tired. Other than that, all you can do is continue to live your life, be the best you can be. And me and God, we was definitely gonna talk about it in heaven one day. Like, just laugh at them. Push replay on the video. Look, look, they tried to humiliate you through every divine step you took. It's actually quite funny when you think about it. Like, why would you do that? So obviously, it's a powerful weapon. It's a powerful tool. And because they see that this is not working as effectively as it used to on people, because I just saw some kind of little documentary where they might be proposing using like somehow using AI to replace prison, somehow making people wear some type of memory glasses where they are forced to replay the memories of what they inflicted on another person. What is y'all opinions about that? Leave it in the chat. Like, what if they have some kind of special goggles or memory glasses, some kind of device they can put on your head in the next 10 years? You're not in a prison, you're in some kind of, uh, what do they call those? Like a pod. Your body's referring to a pod where you might still get a little freedom, but you got to wear this head device that allows you to constantly replay the memories of what you took your victim through. This is what the future of prison could look like. It was just a great time to mention it because, I mean, there are viral videos going around about it already. They're already trying to change the future of what prison might be because what prison is, I don't know, I guess it's not working, which it leads down a deeper rabbit hole because it's like if you replace prison with AI, how is the money being made then? People no longer need commissary, jail phone calls. If the new prison is a set of AI glasses that just has you repeat the memories of what you took your victim through. I don't know, but it's interesting. Something Elon Musk and them supposed to be working on. A bunch of scientists. They are currently though. It's interesting to be aware of. Already trying to reshape the future of prisons, like what prison will look like. And we don't mean physically. I'm talking about like as far as technology. You see how just this year, earlier this year, what was that prison out there in Louisiana? At least 10, 11 inmates escaped. Maybe they do need to do something different because it should not be that easy for the prisoners to escape. And a moment of silence, really quick. Maybe some people don't feel like he deserves a moment of silence, but I'm going to give him one for Mr. Derrick Groves, who has just been resentenced. What they give him, like 2 life sentences. It's just like, this is his punishment. And of course, they did it publicly. They made sure this is another example. They made sure to humiliate him. Like, we want everybody to see on the news that you just got 2 life sentences for trying to run away from prison. I'm not saying it's right, but they definitely made sure that everybody saw that on the news. What we were talking about earlier was the history of, like, what is the origin of humiliation rituals? How many countries and leaders in the past used to use humiliation tactics to keep everybody in line. You know what I'm saying? And a favorite one was public humiliation. Like, put you in an arena with a bunch of lions, make you fight some animals, put you in a gladiator ring and make the 2 men fight to the death. Just public humiliation type stuff. Put you in a ditch and stone you. Let everybody in the town see you being stoned. It's really, really sad because we live in modern day times and people are still trying to sneakily bring these old tactics like we're stupid. Like, yeah, we're going to public admit. Anyways, they used it as a form of punishment. So now I'm just Googling some terms on Wikipedia for you guys, kind of putting you in the insight of research that I've been doing. It says a humiliation ritual involves public or private. Okay, so I don't know which one is worse, being humiliated in public or being humiliated in private. I think the private humiliation is worse, honestly, because it's like people don't know what you're going through. They didn't see it. It happened in private. But you're still having to suffer from the emotional and psychological effects of the private torture. So to me, private torture is even worse than public torture. At least the public torture, you might have a chance of getting some type of help or something because it's being done in public. And when something's being done in public, just because you got 1,000 people in the crowd watching it being done, I guarantee you, it's three stragglers that don't agree with what you're doing. I'm one of those stragglers. I'm one of those stragglers. Just because I see a group of people laughing and harassing somebody on a bus don't mean I'm going to join it or think it's cool or right. So that's what I'm talking about. It's something wrong with people. Like I said, they need a new psychological term to describe this type of behavior. People that just addicted to humiliation rituals. And it should be called habitual bully syndrome. And everybody that's diagnosed with it and show signs of this, yeah, they need to be on medication and put off somewhere where they can't hurt people. Because if you got habitual bully syndrome, who knows what you might do to somebody? We just know bullying is bullying, and a bully knows no limits. A bully should be the last one in line talking about a humiliation ritual. Because, their ideas of humiliating a person might be sick. See, there's a difference between a prank, a joke, roasting somebody, and humiliating somebody. That's why when I used to hear people do roast sessions, I usually would be the one like the mediator. Because even in roast sessions, you might have somebody that get mad. Have you ever went to a comedy club? Yeah, I had learned those places are not for me. If you easily get mad at a joke, at a prank, do not go to the comedy club. The thing about comedy club events, they can pick anybody out the crowd. Because to me, this is how it innocently starts. Or it's an innocent example. But they can pick anybody out of the crowd. That's how they shows work. And just start talking about you. Like, I've actually been at comedy clubs where somebody in the crowd got mad. It was so funny. If y'all don't believe me, like the Chris Rock and Will Smith situation, to me that was a humiliation ritual. And guess who was humiliated? It wasn't Will Smith's wife that was humiliated. You know who was humiliated? The one who was slapped across his cheek on national television. That's more humiliating than somebody calling you G.I. Jane. So that's a good example right there, right? The difference between a joke, a prank, and like straight up just flat out humiliating somebody. Apparently, Will Smith felt like, well, hey, you coming for my wife, you trying to embarrass her. I'm finna come on stage and embarrass you. The reason I say it seems more ritualistic, it was the Oscars, for crying out loud. It's the Oscars on TV. So Chris Rock is another one I felt like went through that. Like, if you nobody had ever been slapped at the Oscars, bro.
He put that on himself.
Nobody. Like, I know people want to say he deserved it, but if you already known to be a comedian, that's a different topic. People know you like to make jokes about people to make other people laugh. So his wife shouldn't even came to the Oscars. That's what I'm talking about. You know, comedians gonna be there, other actors, other Hollywood stars. They like to make jokes and make people laugh, right? You would think Jada Pickett, of all people, understand that. She been in movies where it's comedy involved, plenty of them. She's been in movies with some of the world's greatest comedians, now that I think about it, bro. So how dare you get mad on TV at the Oscars because somebody called you G.I. Jane? Like, bro, you can't get mad about that. You should have stayed at home. That's where they do that at. So, but now you done exposed that you and your husband be on humiliation ritual type stuff because he had no problem going on stage slapping that man. You cannot tell me. At the time, I was just saying, yeah, we need to see more black men defend their black wives and sisters and aunties and cousins. What you mean? But now the years done gone by, I had to rethink the situation. It could have been a whole humiliation ritual because people talked about that situation with Chris Rock and Will Smith for a while after that happened, bro. People were actually concerned. Like, so I'm telling y'all, that's one example right there. You think you just be doing stuff and people say, oh, if I was Chris Rock, I would be ashamed. I would be humiliated. What would have been more humiliating if Chris Rock had a sued that man for everything he had? That's humiliating, but they never think about that part. Like, what could happen to you for even making this attempt to humiliate me at the Oscars and slap me on stage? But see, Chris Rock is a good man. He said, look, I understand. He did kind of use the opportunity to me. Like I said, the whole thing gives humiliation ritual. Because now this give you, Chris Rock, you, your family, all the people that defend you, your fans, that gives them the right to start talking about Will Smith's whole marriage. Now everybody gossiping. Yeah, it would have never happened if him and his wife wasn't having problems. You see? And now that's another thing. I never really talk about the Smiths much. But their whole marriage seems to have gone through a humiliation ritual, bro. Even their kids, they I don't know what they did to them. But clearly he's not at the top for free. Will Smith is one of the world's most renowned actors right now. Still, he was not off the hook with being. Obviously, they do humiliation rituals on Will Smith too. Straight up, they be trying to make his daughter look bad, his son look bad, every chance they get. And when they started coming for Jada Pickett so hard over, what did they say? What did she have? A young fling. Like, these women don't be out here doing the same thing. See, that's just the natural way of the world. If most people see, look, everybody's throwing apples at that little boy. Come on, join in. They just pick up an apple and throw it. They don't take a second to think like, this person already going through enough. 10 people already throwing apples. That's just how humiliation rituals work. It literally take over people's mind. They don't see shit else, but that everybody else is humiliating somebody, so they should do it too. It's weird. Anyways, I keep getting off topic, y'all. I'm trying to read the Wikipedia definition and let y'all know. If you literally Google the definition of this cannot be denied no more, bro. It says it involves public or private acts. Design. Keyword. Design. For something to be designed, somebody sat there and planned that, right? Designed to degrade, shame, or assert power over an individual. Often as punishment, social control. So, social control to me is already going too far. That's like you want to control who a person is socially, who they talk to, who they have as friends, who they have as a boyfriend, girlfriend, how they kids treat them. That's crazy. Social control. But you sitting up here asking why people have social anxiety, social phobias. They scared. Like, some people, they don't sit on a bus. If they sit on a bus, they is not finna sit somewhere where somebody is directly behind them and they can't see what's going on. You got Uber drivers like that too. They'll ask you to sit on the other side in the back seat. They don't want you sitting directly behind them. Real social trust issues. Um, or part of initiation rites like hazing, or I don't know how to say this word, using symbolic acts like forced servitude, grotesque clothing, physical discomfort. I heard them on the grotesque clothing part. It's like people try to low key recycle clothing in a negative way, but this is what I mean. Like, you give away 5 bags of clothes, knowing that you survived a humiliation ritual in them same clothes that you just gave to somebody else. Or the clothes you see, you gave them the clothes and then you go tell somebody they stole the clothes from you. That's the type of stuff we talking about. But then y'all wonder why people, they just don't trust people like that. But don't think that ain't real. People will give you a whole pair of shoes and smile in your face and hand them to you and say, can you fit them? Watch you put them on, try them on, make sure they fit, walk away, and go tell the next person you stole them shoes out their house. Like, I have literally seen this. They'll give you the coat. Here's the coat, and smile while they're giving it to you. Then go down the street and tell 10 people that you stole that coat. Remember, that's my coat. And they like, that is your coat. And it just starts humiliating bullshit that could have been avoided if you just said no to the coat. So don't get mad at God for making people more independently sufficient. They need to be this way. Because if you just relying on the help and assistance of people all the time, boy, are you opening the door to allow them to curse you. I mean, I like to put this information out there because it don't mean everybody going through it right now. But if it so happens to pop up in their life as an issue, as a problem, and nothing else makes sense, they can think of channels like You Will Make It TV. What that one lady did say, they'll do stuff like that. Yeah, they will. Like here's they'll give you some and then go tell people that you stole it, bro. Another thing they'll do. These are all I'm exposing all humiliation tactics, as many as I can on the stream tonight. They'll they'll get you to invite them over, and don't tell me that's not possible. People are creative as hell. They'll find ways to get either somebody they know or somebody close to you, somehow get you to invite them over, right? That's something I start paying attention. Ain't no way that everybody that come to your house leaves something at your house. They always wait about 10, 15 minutes. Oh, did I leave this or that? That's a humiliation ritual, bro. You know you ain't left nothing in my house. Or when you came over, you act like I'm paying attention to what you brought in your house, in your pockets, and everything when you step through the door. So we make it easier. You just have less visitors. Just to expose humiliation rituals. Like, nobody forgets stuff like they whole keys, a whole wallet, things of value, right? A whole phone, a tablet. You don't care about your own stuff to leave it at somebody else's house. Do you even deserve it back? But yeah, these are some of the tactics that they use just to open the door, open the portal towards humiliating you for years to come. So watch who you let in your house these holidays, guys. Watch who you accept gifts from. I'm not going to stop teaching on this. Yes, a person can sit in the comfort of their basement, attic, living room, bedroom, and do a whole spell over a gift if they bought it out the store. That's another thing. Y'all be accepting Christmas gifts from people who not some of these people is not purchasing this stuff. They went and stole it. But you thought it's a gift because it was free. Anyways, these are some of those tactics, bro. These are some of those things. They'll sit there and listen to all your business just to say you lying. And I've seen things y'all wouldn't believe. Like, you just told them a whole story about what happened to you yesterday. They go tell that story to another person and say it happened to them. Like, it's some weird people out here like that. They have no problem lying and switching, trying to call themselves swapping stories, swapping spit, swapping men, swapping women. Uh, Public shaming devices to enforce norms or punish transgressions, seen historically in mob justice, military abuse, and religious penance. Humiliation. Public shaming involves public displays like the pillory, tearing and feathering, or parading offenders as seen in historical justice systems, and vigilante actions. Hazing, common in fraternities, military, schools, involving forced servitude, eating disgusting things, or enduring physical discomfort to test loyalty and break down individuals. That is so sad. Folk customs like the European Charverie were nosy public demonstrations shame transgressors. And it literally says this. Oh, it don't say nosy, it says noisy. To enforce community morals. Instruments like the skull's bridle brink were used early in modern Europe to silence nagging women through physical restriction in the mouth. Wow, I'll have to research that one a little more. Religious practices like the osculum infame kiss of shame to the devil. I'll research what that means too in 1 second. Because what the hell is the kiss of shame? We've heard of the kiss of death. We've heard of the kiss of life and stuff like this. But the kiss of shame in witch trials, remember, guys, witch trials happen right here on the soils of America. And I'm finna research this too again so people see. The humiliation part wasn't them burning the witch to the stake. The humiliation part was probably the trial itself. Like you literally sitting there trying to defend yourself against 20,000 people that claim you're a witch in the town. That's what the Salem witch trials used to look like. People saying they seen black cats around you, black birds around you, stupid stuff. Because I went and researched some of the Salem trials. And you wouldn't believe some of the reasons that they claim were valid enough to accuse somebody of being a whole witch, bro. And at the time, it took time for them to even learn that men could be witches too. So for a long time, you had a lot of undercover men witches who were getting away with what they were doing. They weren't even being burnt at the stake like the women were, because it took knowledge and education time to catch up, like for people to be aware. Because if you ask me in modern day time, it's more men into it. It's more men into the same practices as it is women. This ain't like the Salem witch trial days where it was mostly women on trial being accused. Actually, in my research, I learned that it was men who were actually punished publicly too, but it was very rare. Uh, Power assertion, a way for powerful people to dominate others. And I swear, the examples in quotation says police, military, and other higher groups. Deterrence, to make an example of someone to discourage others from similar behavior, to enforce community norms or ostracize deviants. Like, yeah, don't think this person is cool. If you try to do what this person do, we'll do this to this person. But then people are empowered when they looking at that person fighting that shit back. But you told everybody don't be like this person. Don't. That's a way that they try to still influence, I guess. But they tried this even with people like Martin Luther King. I hate to use him for an example, but long before he was even assassinated, if you pay attention, though he was in very high prominence, you know what I'm saying? He had already earned his title, and he had already earned his respect for the type of work that he chose to reserve his life to do. Don't think when he would go travel to do speeches and marches, they weren't still putting stupid stuff in his yard. Just go research some of the things that Martin Luther King and his family. It got so bad, his wife was begging him to stop being Martin Luther King. Just stop. Think about your kids. Think about your wife. He said, honey, I can't just stop. I'm doing the Lord's work. Whatever he told her. He wasn't just going to stop behind a few public humiliation rituals. I just thought I would give that as an example. Same thing for Michael Jordan. He was humiliated at first. He rode the bench. Nobody wanted to put him in the game. He wasn't known as the world's best basketball star in the beginning. He was humiliated at first. He had to go to tryouts like everybody else where they laugh. And we all know, if you know anything about basketball, When you're a bench rider like that, you're not the lineup. You're not the first five players to be selected to play on the court. So that's how he started. I'm trying to think of somebody else. They even tried to publicly humiliate Muhammad Ali, you know, just because he had a separate opinion. People only know him as the boxer. But no, he was actually I forgot what that word is called, drafted to go fight a war in Vietnam back in his day. Y'all remember that? And he was on the news constantly speaking his piece about how he didn't want to go fight. He said, "Why would I go fight for a country that don't even fight for me?" That's pretty much what he said in a nutshell, and this was way back in the 60s. He was a black man. And don't even get me started with the Willie Lynch letter. How it is preached all up and down through that letter that the best way to control your slave is with humiliation. But if we live in modern day time where slavery is allegedly illegal, I mean, when I say it's illegal in America, so they have to use rituals. For those that say, why is she so adamant that rituals are dangerous and that they need to do something about it now before it gets worse? Because I'm serious. If you think the Holocaust wasn't a big humiliation ritual in itself, the thing with Adolf Hitler, it was so bad another country had to come in there and help them fight to free their people. How is that not humiliating? You putting all these people in a camp with no food. The camp, pretty much for those that are not aware, it was called a concentration camp. It resembled something like a jail. It was just like the days of today where they pulling illegal immigrants out of their houses, off their jobs, out of the schools, and they just hem you up and say, come on. That's how it was for the Holocaust people. Uh, Pretty much. They was dragging you out your house, forcing you into concentration camps, but you want us to sit around and pretty much passively aggressively look over humiliation rituals. When this same stuff was done, caused the deaths of masses of people long before now. We just started off using the Salem witch trials as an example, but it happened to other groups of people. So that's where it starts. First, you rally up the hate. You got to get enough people to hate that many people with you. Because with Adolf Hitler's situation, he didn't even take the time to rally up people to hate the quote unquote Jews. Him hating them was enough. And he surely used his power to assert, like I just read off of Wikipedia, to assert force and more power over these people who had brown eyes and brown hair. Whatever reason he found in his heart, he didn't like them. It's so stupid. So yeah, they once they got them in these concentration camps, they no longer had a name. They were all known by numbers. You know, prison is built that way. The whole point of prison is for you to feel humiliated every day you're in there. It's bad enough you were publicly on trial and everybody know what you did. But now when you're actually in the prison, they have a whole nother system inside of there designed, because that's the word Wikipedia used, to literally break you down. They don't want nobody leaving prison feeling empowered. Though they have books and libraries, some people done wrote some of their best music hits, and they was sitting right in a jail cell. But I'm saying that's not the goal. They don't really want you to become a better person, and that's the problem. Now we get it. The person was wrong. They went to prison, but somewhere in there, shouldn't they find themselves again? No, you want them to stay lost and get out doing the same things. That's the point of humiliating them in the first place, or making them feel forced to humiliate another. It's so sad. Cause I'm not even talking. Okay, what do we do? Well, one boy's video I was listening to earlier, his theory was the sooner, like the quicker people learn to not give attention to what he said, y'all. Cause this inspired this topic that I'm doing tonight. What he said is it seems to be a uptick, a uprising, a increase in people sharing humiliating content about others just for views. And in his opinion, how This type of content should be banned. If it's clearly somebody being hurt, shamed, degraded, uh, why are these the videos with 1 views, 5.2 million views, 300K views? It be just way too many views. He got a point. He got a point. I'm just saying I agree. When it's a clip about some drama circulating, baby, I guarantee you it's gonna have millions of views. So people can keep trying to hide. Oh, I'm not a messy person. I don't like evil and violence and drama. That's not what the views show on a global level. So you got a whole lot of people lying or something. The content wouldn't even stay up that long if everybody was hitting the report button on the things that they should be hitting the report button on. Let's talk about it. Y'all be seeing some of these videos ain't right. Some of these videos you can tell the person didn't even know the person didn't even know they was being recorded. That's why God's judgment is coming swiftly. You feel me? People start thinking they was God with these video cameras. Anyways, why is it that when it's content full of drama, somebody being beat up, like this one that's circulating right now about Krishan Rock getting jumped, you think it got 1 million views because she's a star? If it was a regular girl getting jumped, they would run and flock to it. So what he was saying was he is afraid that we are getting signs that people are literally creating humiliating circumstances for others just to be able to catch it on camera, just to be able to make some money. And as long as you can prove it, you're gonna be okay. Because there are rights that you have as far as like suing people, trying to receive some type of justice. Because and somebody said they agree with me. They said that young lady's right. You don't have enough people actually standing up. That's why people are so confident and bold with posting this kind of content in the first place. Y'all made this a trend. Y'all made this a trend. Like, oh, it's trendy. When you made platforms like World Star Hip Hop, and that's just one. I was just giving an example where it became trendy just to post fights, street fights, right? Ain't nothing wrong with street fights. It's better than people getting shot and worse. But then, it was platforms like that. It had millions of views every time somebody fighting. I already seen it years ago. I saw it years ago. I don't care for World Star Hip Hop that much. I'm not saying that all they have is fights on there, but it's platforms like that approve stupid content. Then other platforms, we can name platforms all day long, but any one of them that if you just sit back and watch and they letting stupid content circulate, but they're banning and shadow banning and blackballing the ones that's actually trying to help people and teach people something is wrong. I'm telling you, it shows. Like, all the proof is in the pudding. You want those other videos where somebody getting beat up. Let me tell y'all, with the Shanquilla Robinson story, because I remember following it when it first came out, the Cabo 6. They called him that because that's how many of them were with her before she lost her life. So, dang it. I thought I heard Dreamy. Uh, do y'all know they had some footage circulating of them people jumping her? I don't know exactly who all was involved, but it definitely had some footage of them jumping on her. Like, this is before they came back to America talking about she's no longer here. She died in Mexico. Like, make it make sense, bro. For a while, that footage was circulating. I didn't get to finish what I was saying, but my allergies. The footage was circulating, uh, and people saw it, and then suddenly it disappeared. It was weird. But for those that know, they know. And I don't know how they were able to post that so fast, like if they had went live while they was doing it. But to me, that was the moment where y'all should have been trying to send her help out there. You don't wait like, oh, they probably, I don't know what people thought. But there was a whole footage circulating of them beating that girl up. But you gonna come home and tell her mom, oh, she overdrank, she ate some poison in her food. Just stupid stuff. It's weird. It's one thing, but it do say in this definition of humiliation ritual that the goal is to control the social, even the social events that surround a person. That's the point of humiliating. A lot of us were convinced that they had that planned and designed and plotted before they even got on that cruise ship to go over there to Mexico. They knew what they were going to do to her. So, yeah, humiliation ritual. Because if you're going to jump a person, why not just jump them? Why you got to have cameras and record it? And recording it is nothing because that's just having evidence of what happened. But it's when people post it for me. That's where they go too far. At that point, you can't deny that you was trying to humiliate somebody. You whole posted the content that you control. I don't know. They just be wanting to pretty much be in control of the proof of humiliation, like that humiliating moment. Like, yeah, she just peed on herself. We caught it on camera. And now that you keep this footage, this person's supposed to be do whatever you say. They call themselves blackmailing people with that. Like, oh yeah, we gonna show everybody you peed on yourself. That's weird. Every time you don't do what we say. So when you find yourself in that type of situation, I'm not telling nobody don't believe in the police, don't try to do something about it on a legal level, but I encourage you to go to God first. Cause humiliation rituals to me, they're satanic as hell. It could only come from hell. Like God is the best person to go to first. Don't let people fool you. Who do you think Martin Luther King went to when it was happening to him? Some believe he even knew he was gonna die before it happened. They say the same thing about Aaliyah, because they actually have clips and recordings of these people saying things right before they died. So stop playing with us about humiliation rituals. Aaliyah said, with Aaliyah, they were referencing to a dream. She was speaking on an interview about a dream she had. And then the way she died, like in an airplane with the airplane, something happening with the takeoff and it crashed. It was, people were saying it was similar to what she said happened in her dream, which is still spooky to this day. Martin Luther King had pretty much, he said it straight up in one of his speeches. Like, he felt like his day was coming soon. He know they was finna take him. But the point is, the reason they can sense this is like if you already doing repetitive humiliation spells on a person who has established themselves as somebody already, what should they expect next? It's so stupid, bro. All right, so ew, I'm reading a lot, but and yes, as we all see, because I just read something called sexually masochistic behaviors are usually evident by early adulthood. That is crazy. It's saying somebody that began with masochistic or sadistic play during childhood. The masochistic experiences sexual excitement from physically or psychologically receiving pain, suffering, and or humiliation. But that's not for everybody. But there are some people with weird kinks out there. And it's saying how it can be a psychological problem, if not, and it can inflict harm and pain on others just because they get a kick out of pain. It turns into a problem because now you're inflicting pain on others just to satisfy yourself, and that's selfish. Just because that's your kink, that's weird. Find somebody else that's into that. You see, to inflict that on somebody that don't know what's going on is weird. It says, then an individual suffers humiliation when he makes a bid or claim to be a certain social status. Has this bid or claim fall public? Wow. So yeah, but that's my thing. If you never like if you never put a title on it, they don't start messing with you unless you're out here claiming some type of status. Like, I'm a preacher, I'm this, I'm that. Now they feel like, okay, we have something to work against. You a what? You a Arthur? You a movie star? You're a this and that, but we didn't even ask for these titles. This is what y'all call certain careers. You feel me? Y'all have labels and titles for what people do. Even when it's evil, they got a title for it. But as soon as you walk around like with confidence in that title, like just, yeah, I know who I am, self-esteem, self-confidence in it, you have now opened the door for a person to test it. Well, you say you're Arthur, I'm finna do a humiliation ritual on your, and then it's crazy when they come for you, they're not just doing it for your reputation. We're here to clear up the stigmas. They do it to every area of your life in hopes of now when anybody hear anything pertaining to anything you've ever created, invented, tried to do. No matter how many times they tried to do this to Martin Luther King, though, he had followers. There's just people, no matter what you said about him, oh, he's cheating on his wife. They were hoping that rumor would turn people away from him because he was supposed to be a man of faith. So they hurry up and threw that rumor and they're like, yeah, we found evidence of him cheating on his wife. I'm not saying so what as in men should, but y'all know a lot of men in the 50s and 60s was cheating on their wives anyway because they're still doing it. But they definitely were doing it back then. So whether he had gained prominence and status as Martin Luther King or not, there was a slight possibility that he could have ended up cheating on his wife. That has nothing to do with the person's work. That has nothing to do with a person coming outside every day saying, hey, stop treating people different because of the color of their skin. But see, that's how they'll try to do. Well, let's find what's imperfect about you. Poor Martin Luther King. He probably had so many spies on him all the time, it wasn't even funny. Because they had to constantly work to look for ways to humiliate him. Because they were humiliating, he was humiliating their agenda. And what was their agenda? To keep the black man, woman, and child oppressed. To keep them from reaching a higher level than the highest prominence. So they felt like, y'all might not be slaves no more, but don't be out here thinking that you're going to be overriding us with your equality rights now. I mean, you can get a job, they could do certain things, but they didn't want them thinking they were higher above another race of people. And Martin Luther King had a problem with that. No, a person can believe who they think they are. Their race has nothing to do with you trying to control. And so it just goes on and on. But remember, if you need a little encouragement, enlightenment, anytime, that's a great man to think about. And please leave the rumors out of it. But when you research his life, you will see them. Because anybody with a prominent status, it is common that people come for them, right? Especially if they don't like what they're standing for, what they're talking about, they come for them. Creates humiliation is the abasement of pride. That's crazy. So yeah, we can see, turn into a humiliation ritual for somebody that you feel like you can't break down, they won't change. What's funny, they be doing this to innocent people though. You should be doing humiliation rituals on pedophiles, don't you think? Pedophiles, people who rob banks, people who just literally inflict pain on people for fun. That's who you should use that on. Mm, mm, mm. But no, they're the ones being uplifted, upheld, babied, swaddled, wrapped in a blanket, put burping them on the back, rubbing their feet and everything. Like, they cater to the ones they should actually be using it against. See, God probably wouldn't even have a problem with humiliation rituals if they were being done on the right people. This is stupid. But no, you wanna just do it on the gifted, those that you see their talent, you see their gifts, you see their prominence, you see their influence. They not hurting nobody. You just see that about them. So here you go with, no, I think their light is shining too bright. We got to do a humiliation ritual every now and then before people see their light. Like, that's trying to control too much. You trying to control a person's light now? You do know people can see light even through the darkness. It's gonna be easy to see it because if everything dark, yeah, like they just be trying stupid stuff. Like I'ma hide this. I want to hide that this person is a good person. Yeah, let me humiliate them. You do know, depending on how they handle their humiliation, is still proving that they're a good person. Some people, once again, like Krishan Rock, you slap her, she's gonna slap you back. Okay? Not saying that's bad or good, but everybody's different. I'm not saying she's a bad person because she'll slap a person back, but then you got other people who literally practice humility. I wouldn't say for fun because this is really who they are. So you slap them, they turn the other cheek like Jesus told them to. I wouldn't say that makes them a better person, but it shows you a lot about that person. But people would say, oh, that's weak. That's PUSSY because you turned the other cheek. No, we live in a day where you must fight humiliation back and by simply being yourself. You can't control who do a humiliation spell on you. You can't control yourself in the middle of the ritual. And now people see who you are. You didn't even mean for that to happen. It easily exposes who you are, just how you handle the humiliation ritual. What's funny, I don't know what this video was about, but NLE Chopper was like, I'm gonna come out and share my how I survived my humiliation ritual. Like you bragging about it. Like, bro, ain't nothing cool about that. I mean, surviving it is cool, but don't brag that, yeah, look, this is what I had to go through for my fame. Like, I liked you, NLE Chopper, but don't go there, bro. Are you trying to make this look cool? He was sitting in a tub. What was crazy, what he was showing in the photo reminded you of Tupac when he was sitting in that tub with all those snakes. Like, what? Okay, this is a way I've chosen to humiliate myself. I'ma sit in a bathtub as a man, butt naked, and let y'all pour a big bucket of snakes over my body and take a photo of it. Cause what kind of message is that sending? You know? Like what woman is gonna find that sexy? You sitting in the bathtub full of snakes. Come on, bro. No offense to Tupac. I know they make the industry make y'all do some weird stuff. They weirder than Fear Factor. No offense to Tupac. Which, if you go down a Tupac rabbit hole, you will just prepare yourself to see. Cause like, he wasn't perfect either. The kind of maybe he wasn't perfect as far as the and if you notice, they love that you being a knowledgeable person, being intelligent, being wise does not mean you have 100% knowledge of the occult things. See, you could be smart with math books, bank accounts. Smart is just smart, but that don't mean that you're smart in every area. That's why people jump straight to occult knowledge to feel stronger and more powerful than everybody else. Because now they know things that most people would know. Most people don't sit around and study satanic rituals. And I mean, the new generation is very special to me, and I'm proud of them because they do. They do TikToks about it. They're sharing more knowledge about this stuff. It's like we had to teach ourselves. No churches and chapels were sitting around. Not that I've heard people say sitting around teaching the young people, this is what Illuminati is. This is what selling your soul is. Beware of this. Beware of that. You don't hear people sitting around teaching that, but this new generation, oh, they're talking about it. Because why just let you sit back and practice something that I'm not even aware of on me? Once again, you go to the doctor, you're not going to know everything about the hospital and what they have in there, all the medications, all the needles, what surgery goes with what. You don't know anything when you go to the doctor. That's the thing. You don't know but what's wrong with you. Now, you take baby steps. They done told you what's wrong with you. Now they're telling you the options. We can do this. We can give you a shot in the knee. We can give you a shot in the elbow. And you might ask them, what's the difference? Will they both do the same thing? And because you really don't know much. But like I'm saying, it's not hard to overpower somebody that you have more knowledge in a certain area over. But you're in trouble if that person get their knowledge up. Because what kind of fight were you trying to have where they don't even study occult knowledge, but you're using occult knowledge against them? Come on, bro. That's what you practice. You mean to tell me I gotta start going to practice all the world religions just to make sure I'm okay? Well, so be it. Let's get to it. Because I might have only been specialized in the faith that I'm aware of, or what I practice. You feel me? And what I practice doesn't require us to hurt anybody. It doesn't require us to take a drop of blood from anybody, humiliate them, make them sweat. It says something similar like, be kind unto your enemies, for it shall burn like coals of fire, heaps of coal upon their head. But still, how is that you hurting somebody? Their head catching on fire because you treated them with kindness, though they stabbed you in the back, ain't your problem. Why would you be burning up on the inside because the person showed you kindness, bro? The only thing that would make you do that is because you know you did them wrong. They shouldn't even be buying you a burger. They shouldn't care if you got a warm coat on. You stabbed them in the back, remember? But the Bible, what I practice, like I said, and many other people, just because a person say they practice something, number one, don't mean they do. But I'm speaking facts. I've been known to sit there and give to a whole enemy. Even if I didn't tell them, hey, I know what you did to me. It doesn't matter. Here's a glass of water. It got ice in it too. You want some lemon? You want some honey in it? I've been known for this, so there's nothing to have to prove. So we're speaking facts. When it come down to some of the people they come for to do humiliation rituals on, I think it's funny. It's funny until it's not. Because if somebody who's never studied humiliation rituals before and you got away with doing it on them, like, I guess you still gonna blame it on the person. Well, they should have knew about humiliation rituals. It wouldn't have happened to them. Hmm. I don't know. I'm gonna stay silent for a second on that one. That's exactly why I said if I gotta go study all 150 religions on the globe just to make sure I'm okay, then that's what I'll do. Stop telling people they can't practice several religions. You don't know why a person is studying several religions. Is several religions attacking her? Oh, but when it comes to occult knowledge, like since when did people use the occult knowledge? The reason people don't like it is because y'all are abusive with it now. Nobody cares if you worship Satan or Lucifer or do satanic rituals. Who cares? We care if people are dying behind it. People are whole losing their souls. People are having demonic issues in their house. Come on, bro. Why wouldn't they care? It's kind of embarrassing being in the world. I'm like, man, why I couldn't have been here in the 70s, which I probably was. I'm probably here in another life. Why I couldn't be here? I know I heard that times was hard in the 17 and 1800s for black people, but today is a piece of work too. Because people see how much privilege you are in modern day technology than your ancestors were, they still play with you. See, a white lady said it on her channel the other day. She said, y'all need to face reality. And she didn't say this because she's racist. She was speaking facts. She said, reality is racism will never go away. Like, it will never go away. Just like people being gay will never go away. Like, it's just certain things that people practice that will never stop, including occult abuse of occult knowledge. That's like me teaching you to tie your shoe, but you choose to use that knowledge to tie people's shoes when they not looking so they trip. I taught you how to tie your shoe, to tie your shoe every day, not to go tie other people's shoes when they not looking so as soon as they take a step, they trip and fall. But I'm giving y'all like an example of what it looks like in the spirit. To see a bunch of people go learn something and then use it, like, you look more special out the group. Like, wow, you use what we taught you to do, something we never seen before. You should want to look like that, not go use the knowledge to do the same thing everybody been doing to people. Like, no, okay, you just told me how to catch a bird. I'm finna catch this bird, help it lay eggs and have more birds. Not, you taught me how to catch a bird, so now I'm into killing birds. That's crazy, bro. So obviously y'all out here teaching people how to perform humiliation rituals on people. And then it just exposes your whole game because they over abuse it. Then what do? You're not a good teacher when you teach somebody to over abuse something. Like, here, have your first beer with me. Okay, you're just having a first you the one they having a first beer with. But now what do you look like when that one beer turns into a whole beer addiction? You look awful. You look like the one who just you look like that was your plan from the beginning. But see, they'll sit there and accuse the victim like they the ones kept drinking. No, but you the one introduced it to them. Let's talk about it. So this is just my reaction. I say that every new piece of information of knowledge is not for everybody's hands. God was right about that with the tree. Okay, let's talk about that in the book of Genesis. Y'all just be saying it's a tree he told them not to eat off of. To eat is also to intake knowledge. Like, he didn't mean an actual piece of fruit. What do you think you're doing when you're listening to somebody teach you? That's why they say watch who you listen to. Watch who you listen to, straight up, because they could be teaching you something to lead you to a dead ass end. Okay, the same applies when you're learning about spiritual things. Like, a person can take what you teach them and whole go abuse somebody else with their information. Period. When you intake, like they used to teach that at church, when the preacher is preaching, he is feeding the sheep. Is he actually giving y'all food in the church? No, but if he's teaching you something, that's the food. When you go to school, your teacher is feeding you, not just breakfast and lunch. It's the actual what they're teaching you. That's what's feeding you. What is it feeding? It's feeding your brain. It's feeding your mental power. It's feeding, you know what I'm saying, your knowledge, your level of knowledge about something. So God told them, do not eat from this tree. That means don't even come over here studying this tree. Don't even look at this tree. Why, God? That's what they asked him. Because this is the tree of knowledge of both good and evil. And that's not something I think is a good idea for mankind to know. You only know good. Now stay away from the tree. That's what this come down to. You can humiliate as many people as you want to. It doesn't change what happened at the beginning. Like, it just shows human nature is human nature. Most people be saying, "Oh, well, if Eve hadn't ate off the tree, okay, bro, y'all are showing today you would have did the same thing." God tell people not to do stuff every day. He done gave them a million warnings, and they keep doing it. God say, "Don't do humiliation rituals on my people. Don't do no more spells on my people. Don't abuse my people no more." What do? They do what they want to do. And I swear, they continue to look for somebody to blame when their own repercussions and karma, you know what I'm saying, slap them in the face like, oh, it's your fault. Adam and Eve didn't have nobody to blame, but he still tried to. The husband tried to literally blame the wife because she was the one over there eating off the tree. But see, God is not, he's not what you think. Like, bro, you're not finna sit here and just blame her. Didn't I put you here first? You're supposed to be teaching her. See, now that story makes more sense. Had you been teaching her, see, it's like Adam is kind of iffy to me. Like, were you really even on God's side? Because, you should have been trying to make sure your woman ain't going the wrong way. How many men, when men started not caring, they actually don't care to detour you the wrong way, and you they whole spouse, you they whole woman. But I'm just telling people the history of humiliation rituals. It's crazy. Maybe that was the first one. You letting your wife go wander off in the garden, in the forest, all alone. You don't know what the hell she finna get into. You didn't care enough. Oh, it gets deeper. How you gonna blame it on the wife? She called you over there and said, "Here, baby." It wasn't an actual apple, like a piece of forbidden fruit. The forbidden fruit in itself was certain knowledge that people shouldn't even, like I said, I'm trying to tell y'all, God told people he was trying to save people a long time ago. If you don't even know evil, if you don't even know what a humiliation ritual is, how can you do that to somebody? That's my question. Leave your opinions in the chat. If you don't even know what that is, how you gonna hurt somebody with it? Okay, so boom, you learn what it is. You still had the choice not to do that to somebody. Like, it's stupid. So God tried to keep it simple. Like, how about y'all just don't learn this? Don't even eat from this tree. Don't eat could mean read. Eat could mean listen. Every time you use your senses to intake something, smell, hear, see, feel, you are eating. Eating is not just the verb of taking a piece of food and putting it in your mouth and devouring it. There are other ways you can eat, just as witches and warlocks. They feed people in their dreams all the time. They feed people through giving them gifts. But it's what are you feeding me? Is this gift cursed? What are you feeding me? Is what you finna tell me about another person going to humiliate them? You just told me she lost her kids yesterday. Why would I want to hear that? Don't you think that's humiliating for that person? Don't come over here feeding me nothing negative that just trash to my soul. You might as well go eat out of a garbage can. Some of the people y'all be listening to. You might as well go to the dumpster and eat. What I'm trying to teach is that eating is not just a physical thing. Like, eating is also what you take in. And what did God tell them in the garden? Do not eat over here. Don't eat off this tree. The way I created you is good. If you read the beginning of Genesis, it said he created this, it was good. He created that, it was good. He created this and that, it was good. And he saw that it was good. Every tree in the garden, even if it contained the knowledge of both good and evil, it was a good tree to God. The tree was only good, though, if nobody ate from it. Only him, the ancient beings, knew what evil was. It was not meant for human beings to know what evil was. Because look how crazy they are with it. Humans wasn't supposed to know what a lie was. Lie. Humans weren't supposed to know how to cheat, how to do a spell, how to do a ritual. Look how stupid they are. I mean, just because something exists, okay, a bottle of grease. Just because you use grease and oil to cook with, you're not supposed to just sit there and drink that. You know what you're gonna do to your stomach? That's not a drink that you just sit there and drink. But this how I look in the spirit when people learn certain things. Like, oh, and then they had a nerve. Well, I know this and she don't, so I'm finna hurry up and use it on her. Like that person can't just go study the same thing you've been studying. And it's about that time, folks. God said in the last day, I shall pour out my spirit upon all flesh. That means even if you evil, anybody who want to know the truth, today they can know the truth. The truth all over the internet. But is it safe in everybody's hands? Because that's the thing about the truth. They say it's a hard pill to swallow. But since you describe the truth as a pill, what does it do? It has a different effect on everybody, just like a pill would. She took the pill. It made her act like this. Somebody like me, the truth pill is changing me. They don't know how yet. But some people take the truth pill, it make them worse. Like, sometimes they didn't even take the truth pill. The truth just fell in their lap or it's in their face. So do not be deceived by people just because they're saying they want the truth. The devil come ask you for the truth too. He came straight to Eve in the garden. He wanted to know that little secret that God told her. What did God tell you? Oh, he told me not to eat off this tree. Like, why are you even telling the devil your business? But people don't understand yet. They think you're weird. No, 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 no. We got to go back and fix a curse from many, many, many years ago. And notice he slid, the reptilian came on through to the woman, not the man. You know, he came over there to the woman like, yeah, what's your secret? So boom, she told him the secret. God told me don't eat off this tree. He said, oh, what God say gonna happen if you eat off the tree? She said that God said I shall surely die. And the reptilian who thought he was smarter than God said, well, you're not gonna surely die. He ain't gonna kill you immediately. It's just stupid deception. Ain't see bite it. So she bites from the knowledge of all this occult wisdom, of all this occult witchcraft. Because if it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, do you know what the word knowledge means? That means you learning something. They only knew good. They're doing that same thing today. I want to go see what evil talking about. I want to learn. I want to see what's that dark shadow. I want to learn more about it. Things that God didn't even want people to know. And no matter how much they try to spin it, no, 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 we can handle this knowledge. That's why a person just brought a piece of pyramid over there from Gaza and their whole house was cursed. All kind of evil stuff start happening to the family because people feel like they can still touch whatever they want to. They can touch a Ouija board. They can touch what they want to. Okay, so God ain't gonna bother them. Y'all keep touching what you want to. Keep biting off of fruit. The same thing is just happening every generation. Somebody gonna do it. The devil come to the new babies of every generation and say, "Here, take a bite of this fruit." He doing the same thing. It's the same thing. Keep happening. Mm, mm, mm. Actually, he's going even harder. If I can't get the wife to bite off the fruit, I'm gonna go to the husband. And if I can't get the husband to bite off the fruit, I'm gonna go to the grandma. If I can't get the grandma to bite off the fruit, I'm gonna come to one of the kids. That's what is written in the Bible he's meant to do. Like, I come to steal, kill, and destroy. One part of the Bible, God asked Satan, "What you been doing?" Don't ask me why the stories are written like this. I'm just glad the information is there. He came to God for something because he can't do nothing without God permission. God like, "What's up, Satan? I see you." He said, "Hey, God, I just want to talk to you." God said, What have you been down there doing?" God already knew though. Satan says, "Oh, I've been seeking the earth to and fro, seeking whom I may devour." There go that word that describes eating again. Devour means to, like, you're not just eating it. Like, you're violently eating it. You're devouring it. You making sure ain't a bone, a shred left, like a lion or something would do. Actually, that's what the scriptures say. I've been seeking the world to and fro like a lion, seeking whom I may devour. Like, you don't have to do nothing wrong. He's already on the prowl every day. You might just cross the devil path. He's at the wrong place at the wrong time, or you could be doing the right thing. But you should be one of them people he walked past. But see, the devil be looking for clout too, y'all. It is what it is. Like, oh, this Teddy Sherry, see she changed. Let me try a humiliation ritual on this person. They're stupid. They're stupid. Cause I know that Job was tested the same way though, y'all. They said he was known as a upright and just man in his land. Actually, God was seeking the land. Like, how many righteous people can I find? Y'all never know. Y'all think these scientists be doing experiments? I wouldn't say God do experiments, but he do be studying and watching the people. And he said, I want to see how many people. And he looked upon the land, and Job was the most upright. He couldn't even count. The same thing happened in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, where he had to burn the cities down. He said he looked at that city, he couldn't find five people. Five people who had been praying or loved God. Like, that's how crazy and full of sin that the place had gotten. So anyways, Job didn't do nothing wrong. I'm reminding people. They swear if it's evil presence, evil going all up and down in your life, you did something evil. You must have joined the Illuminati. You better go read the Bible. Job didn't sign up to be a gangster. He didn't sign up to be a soldier. He didn't sign up to be a police. He didn't ask them to join anything they had going on. So tell me why Job kids just started suddenly dying one by one. Job's pets and farm animals started dying one by one. The grass and the land that once was so plenteous and fertile and green and abundant, the grass even started turning black. He couldn't plant any more seeds, any more pumpkins, potatoes, things to feed his family. Then he look in the mirror and his skin is starting to fall apart. Like everything you could think of could go wrong in a man's life began to happen in this man. All because God and the devil had a secret conversation about him, and it wasn't God that brought him up. Satan came. What you been doing, Satan? Oh, just seeking the earth, looking for a new person to devour. That's what he told God. Because, see, Satan can't lie to God. He can lie to anybody else. And he is a liar, but he can't lie to God. Okay, so God said, oh, yeah, that's what you known to do. You've been looking for people to devour. Uh, he said, yeah, I was thinking, can I mess with your child? God just rolled his eyes. Here he go. Which child? Actually, actually, let me tell the story right. The devil asked, can he mess with one of his children? God recommended Job. You know how you can recommend a movie to somebody? Recommend, hey, go listen to this track by Eminem. Go try this food at Cane's. It's a recommendation. And the devil accepted his recommendation. Oh, Job? Oh, yeah, I know who you talking about. That man that you think is so full of faith and won't turn on you. That was their conversation. Job was in his house minding his business, worshiping the Lord, having a good time with his family. He had friends, money. He was the one that people came to. Job, I'm behind $50 on my bills. You think you can help me out? He was a true man of God. Yeah, here you go. Here's $50. Just pay me back when you get ready. This is the type of life Job was living while God and the devil was having this conversation. So, because I'm starting to look at a lot of people, survivors of humiliation rituals, they just never know. They need to take the time out to go somewhere and sit down and think about it. How do you know that somebody didn't hold plan it behind your back? Straight up, just like the devil. So anyways, he said, yeah, try him. And the devil was finna take off with his long, slithery tail. But he said, one more thing, Satan. You can touch anything. You can test him any way you want to. So as much as y'all don't want to hear it, that means he told Job, you can rape him. You can do whatever you want to him. But he told him one thing, do not touch his life. I'm not promising you my child's soul. I don't know what kind of deal you think this is. But you can touch his money. You can touch his kids. That's powerful. God himself gave the devil permission to offend this man's life just to test his faith. Because God already knew what he was going to do at the end of the story. And if y'all just must know, yes, he brought Job out of his affliction and blessed him 10 times what he had before. But before we get to that part of the story, Job had to go through years of suffering for no reason. Well, there was a reason, of course, but from his point of view, for no reason. And the people around him felt so powerful, asking him, what happened to your God? I thought you was a child of God. I thought you loved God. It looks like even some of his friends told him, they was mocking him. You know, back then it was a joke to tell somebody, has your God forsaken you? I mean, he went through worse than depression. He ended up sitting outside what we would call the corner store today. He used to just sit outside the markets and beg. A man who used to let people borrow money was now sitting outside the streets begging, and nobody wanted to touch him because they were scared that they was going to catch the same disease that he had. They wouldn't even shake his hand, hug him, and everybody kept, oh, God is good. How y'all doing? Can I have a few quarters? And they would laugh at him like, what you mean God good? Look at you. But his faith was being tested because, look, Job, these the same people that used to come and ask you for grapes and berries. These the same people you used to let borrow eggs and cows when they didn't have no meat, telling you, you should now turn your back on God. It was a whole test. It had nothing to do. Though the people were loud with their opinions and comments, it had nothing to do with them. His faith was being tested. Because read the Bible and see how quick them people tried to come back around him and worship his God once God had blessed him back up 10 times what he had before. So you're not going to tell me that just because somebody going through a humiliation ritual, they sold their soul to the devil. They must have tried to join the industry. Job didn't ask any of them people back then for a damn thing. He didn't ask them to join their organizations or sit in the king's nest and sit up with the high priest. Job knew who he was by himself, and so did his family, and so did everybody that knew him. That's why they were confused. They had so much to say. How could you be going through this, Job? It looks like you need to turn your back on God. His own wife told him, well, you won't turn your back on God, I'm going to turn my back on you. See, people will get tired of you believing in God through all your circumstances. They'll get tired of you. I don't know who they think they are, but it ain't their life. It ain't their faith that's being tested, is it? But they want to stay right there to witness what happens because they never really left Job's side. They saw him every day sitting out there waiting on him to curse God. They couldn't wait to have something to laugh at. Like, you, Job, you, the most righteous man in the land, sitting here sick, begging for money? Mm. And he hadn't done anybody wrong. Read the Bible. Job didn't owe nobody no money. He didn't owe no gangsters or mobsters. He had never served a prison sentence. He had never bothered a soul. So I got chills right now, y'all. I'm not trying to make the stream creepy. A chill just went over my body. I can't make this up. Like, it got to be some type of truth to this story. You know? Maybe that's my angels like, yeah, let it out. The right person is supposed to hear this stream, or I'll tell it later. My testimony will always be my testimony, but this is Job's testimony. And I get encouraged sometimes thinking about Job because, yeah, now it makes more sense. When people teach you that it's something you did to deserve the humiliation, that's where people get confused and they spend the next 5 years of their life trying to figure out what they did so wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, just like Job didn't. To me, these are the original origins, the beginning of humiliation rituals. When you research historical texts in this way, because Job was a very religious man. He prayed ritualistic 3 times a day. He would go anoint his head, his feet, his hands, just to talk to God. He'd go brush his teeth just to talk to God. You know, I'm just saying he had his own like way that he practiced, sacrificing his life, giving his life to God. He wasn't just no greedy person. Well, that's why the devil asked to test him. Oh, you think your child's so righteous? That's because he got money and he got friends and he got. It's like they wanted to test me in this way too. Well, if we take all this away from her, maybe some people feel like they don't know who you really are until they take everything away from you that they feel like made you in the first place. I swear God took all his kids. Like, it's just weird. He just, it's sad, bro. All them people, once Job start losing everything, they start treating him different. That's what's wrong with people. Read your Bible. That means you only loved him in the first place for what he had. I thank God actually for whatever reason he found in his heart to allow the devil to attack Job in that way, because he knew some of us was gonna go through that one day. Like, y'all, it's a wonder that Job didn't commit suicide. You know how Judas committed suicide? Suicide been around here for a long time. Anybody can do that to themselves. But we talking about people of God though that looked suicide dead in the face like Judas did. He took his own life. Job could have did the same thing. The devil was waiting on it because he had made a pact, like a deal with God over Job's soul. So every time Job felt depressed, while the devil was somewhere smiling and rubbing his hands together, yeah, any second now, Job should be killing himself any second. God was somewhere rubbing his hands too. Come on, Job, you my child. Keep praying. You know, keep praying. Where are you gonna find a lesson through what you're going through? I ain't gonna lie, like a priest told me years ago, pretty much, I'm not confused about anything. That I was gonna go through something similar, or that I was going through my Job season. At the time, I thought I was going through something. You feel me? I'm like, so I believe the person at the time. I'm venting, looking for some positive words. The priest told me, you're in your Job season. But it took me a while to like go read out. And for those that want to know, Job is a very short book. I believe it's a short book. You can probably get through it in one day, one night if you wanted to. But don't take my word or the next preacher's word about what happened to Job. Go read it for yourself. You don't think that's strange that he didn't do anything to anybody, but he was literally, this is what we call chosen. People think chosen is just about being chosen to have money, have cars, have clothes, have everything. No, he was chosen to lose everything, literally. He was chosen for that, but everybody want to be chosen. He was chosen to lose everything and be humiliated. Because God wanted to see, like, how are you going to carry? I want to see if you really my child. The devil just came and tested me about you. That could happen to a parent today. Like, yeah, you know how your child is so perfect? Let me take they Roblox and let's see how your child act. Let me take their video game. And what's crazy, most people it will show you. I told y'all it's like some type of social experiment. They feel like if they take away everything you love, they're gonna just automatically see who you are. It's weird. Like, oh, now we can see the real you. You ain't got your car, you ain't got your daddy, you ain't got your brothers, you ain't got your boyfriends. I mean, and pay attention. Like if people get excited, they suddenly seem happy. They out partying, they leaving all the time. They happy as hell that you going through a humiliation ritual. Pay attention to those people. Pay attention to the people that surround. Because when I read the Job story, I was really studying how his friends was treating him. And these the same people he was letting borrow money. Come on, man. These the same people used to knock on his door when they need a prayer through. Job, when you read it, he was known in his town. This is not something we're just saying about Job. He was known in his land. What was it? It's funny how they just came out with a movie called Wicked, a remake of the movie The Wizard of Oz. But let me tell you where the name Oz originally came from. Go read. It's like it was a real place. Oz, O-Z. That's what they said the name of the land was that Job lived. I can't make this up. People still think it's something symbolic about the movie The Wizard of Oz anyway, because they said on the original movie, something ended up happening to all the actors, even especially the man who played the Tin Man, because back then their costume designs weren't as advanced as today. He got very, very sick from the spray paint. He ended up hospitalized for like a week or two, so they had to get another man to play him. They all just had end up going through some weird circumstances. Keep up with me. Everybody that played in the Wizard of Oz, the first original version with Michael Jackson in it. Oh, hold on. Am I saying the right movie? There is one with Michael Jackson though. I don't know if people went through weird stuff on that set, but I'm talking about the other one with the little white girl. But this new version of Wicked they just came out with, why are they saying the same thing that everybody on the set seems to be going through something weird? I think I have a theory of what might be going on because once again, why is the place that they traveling to, the land that the tornado took the girl to, some place called Oz, when it's really a place called Oz in the Bible? That's the land Job was from. So maybe they playing with biblical places and the name of places, and that's why people on the sets of these movies is getting sick and looking skinny and stupid stuff. I really, people are saying it. They think everybody on the set of Wicked is under some type of humiliation ritual right now. The black lady, Ariana Grande, some other older lady, and the man that produced the film. Why would you suddenly start going through some weird, crazy stuff you weren't going through before just from writing a movie? Honestly, that's like some Stephen King stuff. But Stephen King's was the other way around. Like he would have dreams first, then write the movies. He would have dreams first and then write the books. Okay? Shout out to you, Stephen King. You Will Make It TV does love authors, no matter how big or small of an author you might be. Please tune in frequently to our poetic thoughts, insights, and poetic, insightful, inspirational quotes. We share them weekly in our shorts column, but we also support other writers, whatever kind of writer you might be. But it's great to be informed about this. You didn't hear that the people on the set of Twilight had weird happenings happening to them, though the movie is about werewolves and vampires. So I don't think it's about that. You being too religious could easily blind you from things that you're supposed to see. And that's where people get to calling some of these groups and organizations cults, because you become a cult when you are now trying to control what me, the next person, her, she, him sees. What you see is your natural right. You were born with eyes, okay? But if you start trying to jump in front of somebody all the time, like, no, 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 I don't want you to see that. I can see how, on one level, because they say the truth hurts, and if you love them, you would, what they say? It's a quote, y'all. I'm trying to think of it. Like, oh, what they don't know won't hurt them. The whole time, what they don't know is killing them every day. You see, there's literally a quote. That quote is that way because what they're trying to say is, if you love a person, just don't tell them. Mm, mm, mm. They don't need to see it. It's okay. They don't need to hear it. They don't need to smell it. Leave them out of it, because you love that person. And if that person find out you cheating on them, the devil, don't he? Won't he come play with your mind? No, love would cause you to tell somebody the truth, even if they walk away from you. Guess what that memory of you is? That last memory will always be what you felt like was your truth. But see, two people truth could be different. And now if you have two people with two different truths who's both trying to hide their truth from each other, what do you have? Is that really a relationship anyway? I don't know. Because some people can easily feel betrayed. Like, oh, you didn't tell me. Why didn't you invite me to the birthday party? Stuff like that. Like, why wasn't I invited? And it just be starting whole emotional. And then other times, don't feel bad when you're not invited. You could be invited to something, and the whole purpose is to humiliate you when you get there. We're going to ask you a question. We're going to look at you a certain way. We're going to make a certain gesture. Uh, it could be anything. Like, we just want you to feel uncomfortable, but we need you to first be invited. So it go both ways. Humiliation. Do not misquote me and tell people I came on here and said Job went through a humiliation ritual. But it does make you think, like, what if God was kind of trying to tell us about this already? The devil came to God. Hey, I'm busy. I need somebody to mess with. Who you got for me? Ain't that something? It tell you right there in the Bible. It kind of showed you a sneak peek of how, they say one day on earth is like 1,000 years in divine timing. What if that's true? And like, sometimes there might be certain dimensions that don't even have time. That's why it might look like a ghost could move quicker than a human being could, because we moving through gravity and like a whole nother space here. In another dimension, they might can walk fast, run fast, jump, super strength, different things. Ain't no time. So y'all like, what this got to do with humiliation ritual? Tell the Sherry, like, we cannot be using our time to do this. We have to find a better way collectively. Even the small groups still, it already say in the Bible who does this. Like, I'm looking for a new person to devour today. Devour is more than eating, chewing, craving, hunger. Devouring is like on some greedy, like I must have it, like very greedy. But he told God the truth. And God like, well, he's just thinking on his throne. He like, I got an idea. How about Job? Oh, it do say that though, like that God recommended Job. You have a special place in God's heart if he selects you. Like, yeah, go mess with Job's life. But don't touch his life. He told him, you can go test him. Don't touch his life. Like he better not die. And the devil listened to God too. He couldn't he couldn't touch Job's life. He gave him sicknesses though. He like, I'm gonna be a smart ass. I can't take his life, but I wanna make him uncomfortable. That's all it was the whole time. I wanna make him physically in this dimension where time do exist and you feel everything that you go through. I wanna work through that and see. Because his whole point of the mission was to prove to God that Job, like God, the same thing he do to us. He's crazy. God, don't nobody love you. God like Job do. Who? He look over there. Oh yeah, Job. I heard about him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I want to see how much. Oh yeah, I could tell you about him. He only love you because of what he got. All this. Let me touch everything around him. Just trying to make God feel bad. So he still, if he could have it his way, he would have. Hey God, bow down to me. He still wants to be king of all. He ain't trying to hear nothing about God. What? He like, yeah, let me touch everything around his life. We'll see if he still love you. He kept trying to control what the end was going to be. He wanted the end of the world to be right then. I want God to feel bad. I want him to cry tears because I tore Job down. I'm going to prove to him that when I take everything from Job, his child don't love him. The devil should have knew. Once God gave you permission and said, go ahead, but don't touch his life, he already should have knew something miraculous was finna transpire at some point through that man's life. It's very high honor. They like the struggle is high honor? Yes! Apparently so. If you, okay, I'm finna explain what I mean. That is high honor for the Most High God to say, yeah, just test that person, like recommend you. Oh, you need somebody? Here. And it ain't because this person did nothing wrong. This person is the upright man, the most uprighteous man in the land right now. That don't mean rich. Like, the way he moved, the way his heart is, he's known to be one of mine. But you need somebody to test, go test him. He like, yeah, because if I take all this stuff, he ain't going to love you the same God. And it was testing for Job. Day by day, if you just read the book, I ain't gonna spoil it for y'all and tell y'all everything it say. But if you read the book day by day, he was slowly losing faith. But it's funny. Even if he was mad, he never stopped talking to God. Like the whole way through it, for years long, he just talked to God. Just talking to God. His friends and stuff didn't know. They was more asking him like, where is your God? Job looking depressed, sad, down and out. His whole identity was suddenly different on this earth just because of what he lost. How much he lost. All at the same time. Plus, the extra long stretch of how long you suffered after you, and everybody saw it publicly. That wasn't God publicly humiliating Job. I don't believe that. But that was God allowing the circumstance, just showing us through anybody's life, like, if this do happen, who are you? Like, who do people think they be? If one of my very own can be tested and things can happen to them, who do you think you are? One thing about health, it can't Like, you can't always buy that. Certain things, they was like the best things in life for free. You born with eyes, hands, feet, toes, most people. And they're free. Like, it's your natural right. You have to understand, some people don't understand it, bro. You can't be jealous of certain things with people they was just born like that. You gotta let it go. Like, dang, this who they is. Pray for them, help them if you want to. If you don't want to, maybe that's the way they supposed to be. Especially if they was born naturally like that. A physical attribute or a natural attribute. But yeah, I'm not saying that I think that Job was going under a humiliation ritual himself, but it's a great story to reference to something very, very close and similar to proximity of the works. Because why would suddenly things back to back to back around you happen like a domino effect? Like, it didn't matter what it was. If it was attached to Job at that time, he had suffered great loss, even if it's your wife walking away. They had been together for years, and she knew he was a man of God. But even she was like, had lost faith. Like, mm-mm. And she told him, as it goes, I think you should curse God and die. That is very evil to say. Whatever, however, I'm not here to judge it. Uh, Maybe she was just angry through a lot of, but you're encouraging somebody else to do that. And he was being the man carrying the family on his back. I don't know. It's just strange, but don't worry. He ended up being replenished, renewed. His harvest was so great. People can, God be knowing people be waiting on the other side to see your harvest. That's why he'll make it greater. You gonna need 10,000. You gonna need 10,000 to help you carry it. Sometimes when it came to these type of miraculous stories, uh, when God put his hand on it, they end up having more left over, too much. And it was like 50,000 people with that story with the 5 loaves and 5 fish and 2 loaves of bread. They didn't know how, but they went from barely nothing. He just wanted to show them a miracle, what I can do. They went from barely nothing. Ain't gonna be no fighting when God bless it, cause everybody gonna eat. Tell me I'm wrong. It's gonna be so much, it's too much for people to fight. Take it home. You see what the issues of life be? You want some people to look like they have it or feel like they have it and some don't. Who cares? Nobody can humiliate you unless you let them. People will see, cause just imagine a world, everybody walking around. That's the new way. That's the new way. Like, oh, they say that they feel like people are doing this on the internet uh for views, for money. That's the thing. That's awful. If that's true. They're like, that makes it more intentional. Like, oh yeah, I'm trying to produce a certain content. I'm trying to catch certain content on camera just to make money. That becomes a problem in society, bro. If you got too many people doing it on the internet, like, there are positive. Even if a movie is rated R, at least they tell you. This is my point. Y'all can say what y'all want to about Hollywood. At least they gave us references like PG, rated R, M for mature. You get a warning on what kind of movie it is. Like a level of rating. This is for adult content only. When you're on the internet, you don't know what's gonna pop up. You just scroll. You just scrolling. Honestly, like, what? Then you do see it. It's like, when you really just think about all the content that floats around on a circulation basis every day, I know it ain't all positive. I ain't saying in the world it can ever be. But they said if you stop giving it more attention, like that's why they like posting it. People like drama. People like what? What is that? What video? I don't know. Even I'm guilty of it. I mean, they be posting it on there, so you might watch it. We can tell what's a skit from a real video, bro. Some of us can really still tell. There are still real videos floating around here. Everything ain't AI. That's the thing. Some of that is not even altered or nothing. These are real situations and stuff. So that's what makes the internet streets kind of dangerous too. Like people can't tell anymore. They be like, that's an AI video. And some of those look so real. But they do point out certain things. They be like, look at this right here, that right there. You gotta always go through the comments. Somebody usually points it out for the crowd, like, cause this is still new to society. Like some people, it's brand freaking new. AI videos and crap. I wouldn't say it's new, cause they always had Photoshop. What do y'all think? They had certain stuff where we could photo edit even before these new things, photo and video edit. Cause the only time you could develop photos back in the day is if you go to Walgreens. I remember how it used to be. Then you go pick the pictures up, you pay for them. That's how it was. If you had a video, you put it in a VCR. Wasn't no DVD players. I'm so glad that I kind of like was born at a time where you in between both times though, because you do see where it need to be balanced. Like, hey, don't get out of control with this internet. But they saying it shouldn't be like that. Like all the fighting and dramatic videos got like the views in the millions or K 5,000 K, and it's blowing up with comments for the negative dramatic stuff. That ain't the only thing get views. We just saying they get a little too much views, don't y'all think? Some of them get took down. It's supposed to be like this. Some of those videos get whole took down. It depends on what's on it. They supposed to be on a job, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't flag it, if you don't report the content, it's gonna stay on there. And sometimes they do. It just depends on what the content is. It could be a whole fight in public. People pull their phone out and just start recording it, bro. They not just recording it. Some of them people on live. They on live, bro. It don't matter who don't want to hear it. They go live when they want to. In a restaurant, in a library, in a public place. Out at an event, out at the park. If they see something, bro, they growing LIVE, bro. Like, so they know it's not AI. That's another thing. If it's live, okay, boom. Maybe I'm pointing something out. Not saying that you can't put edits on a live either. Just like, period, bro. Ain't nothing edited when y'all come to you and make your TV. When I record these, they raw, they're unfiltered, they're unedited right now. It's okay. We not out here bashing, picking on certain groups, organizations, what people do. But it's very real. Humiliation rituals. Nothing can humiliate you unless you let it. I don't think Job was like humiliated, but it does point out parts of what the people around him was saying. Like the things they just flat out asked him, like, Job, what's going on, man? And they brought his faith into it. Like mocking him, like, yo, where's your God, bro? It must have been bad. He'll just break down crying and they hugging him, but it's still they friend, but he's skin and bones now. He's dirty. He got sores all over his body. Y'all should go check the story out. It's a really short book. You can just these days Google it on YouTube. I said Google it on YouTube. You can YouTube it or Google it. It'll read it to you. They got Audible apps and stuff. You ain't got to read the whole Bible. Just that book alone, bro, should make you think. And people out here doing humiliation. It is a trending topic. It is. especially in the, even if it's just like conspiracy and all of that, bro. Certain things they'll never say, oh, it's true. Like, it's just gonna forever stay a conspiracy. Like aliens. Not saying they're gonna forever stay a conspiracy, but so far, bro, they've done a great job making people believe, like, no, bro, it's just a conspiracy. Like, what? Bro, it's whole pictures and videos these days. I don't know if they have them of aliens per se, but they do be catching footage of these drone like figures, UFOs, and different stuff in the air. They've been doing this since what? Even the Bible talk about UFOs, bro. I think it's about time. Just tell people, bro. It's something else. The Bible describes them as chariots, as we know. The scholars say chariots because he described them as circular chariots. One of the prophets, what was his name? Elijah. Whether it was a dream, a vision he had, uh, chariots carrying him up in the air type of deal. Something they still trying to study and understand. I don't think they fully understand everything about UFOs yet. Not me personally. Like, that's why they're still studying it. That should be scary alone to people. You don't understand everything, right? Talking about the beginning again, he told her to leave the tree alone. I don't want you eating from there. Eating is not just like eating spaghetti, eating with your mouth, tangibly drinking a drink or food. It's what you're listening to, like I said, watching, what you're around. It still goes back to that influence. So humiliation is a big deal. You might not want to be inspired by a person that, like, oh, they were humiliated yesterday. It's so stupid. Job friends didn't necessarily turn on him, but I can see how it was sad to them. It was hard for them, but it shouldn't have been. Like, help him out. But the kind of disease he had, it could easily, that was the whole thing too. A person with leprosy, they say, I think, they have to throw their clothes away. It's so bad, bro. Like, you can't, you would have to like help. That's a lot of help for that person. That's why he was just like sleeping outside. uh People are not going to want you in their house around their kids, their family. He was weak, he didn't have a lot of energy. God is good though. Job got through that whole, because I know he had to eat, have a little water, the bare minimum every day. Even if you outside, it looks like God provided, but it mostly says that he was talking to God every day through it, what he was going through. Because sometimes he was just alone out there. You ain't got nobody to talk to, Job, but the birds. Even your kids have died, bro. So I just always felt like if I make it to heaven, there's certain other majorettes, whatever you want to call them, majors, like big dogs that's already lived some of the things that. And he was just known as an upright man. Y'all know in the Bible days, they say they just lived longer back then. Not everybody, but there seemed to be a real covenant God will keep with his people. Like, it don't matter who wants you to go before your time. Like the devil wanted with Job. It don't matter, bro. The whole time through that test, you adding, you ain't finna die. You adding 40 more years. Maybe you was supposed to. You adding 40 more years to the time, maybe 50, 70 years, just because you're obeying God, doing the right thing. But like I said, Job could have been suicidal. I mean, humiliation rituals or something could take people there. So the possibility of prevalent existence of divine assistance that wasn't from, I would say, a dark place. It just exhibits something like about faith. He could have just gave up, like, okay, I'm finna go. He was just experiencing something that he had never been through before. Come on, poo poo. Yes, the Bible says he had been blessed all of his days. And he really was through even his circumstances too. But I'm going to cut it off right here, guys. That's the topic for the week, though. Feel free to tune in anytime y'all see hitting that subscribe bell lets you know when we have gone live. So that's another thing about that. Yes, we appreciate your support. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time.